Let me say it again. I say rapture is the seventh dispensational destiny. The ministry of the Lamb ended in the sixth dispensation. So if the Lamb is going to take the nature of the lion to declare rapture, and then just like he had disciples when he was lamb, when he came lamb, when he comes lion, he will still have disciples. And I would like you to listen. Just like the people of the law was not part of Jesus' ministry, the people of the lamb will not be part of the lion's ministry. God does not give us chance to have two masters. And then when God takes the nature of his son and lamb, he has already gotten a lamb's face. And then he's a God in son, making up the church. So a people shall be called out from the church by the spirit of the lion as disciples, as students, as the students of vengeance, to declare rapture from a particular known cloud of revelation. Now it has nothing to do with the church. Please hear me. It is the destiny of the church to keep misunderstanding the coming of Christ. The church will misunderstand it forever because that is their destiny. Listen, they will always read 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 16 to 18 and misunderstand it. They will misunderstand it forever. Don't try to help a church person understand it, because his destiny is to misunderstand it. I say his destiny. And that is where he ended. Now, but a people called out by God with the Spirit, we understand it. Rapture is not a convention, is not a conversional. It is not a conversional destiny. It is a predestined destiny. You have to have the Spirit. Remember that the spirit of loving forgiveness cannot declare rapture. And if you are of loving forgiveness, you will not be raptured. No, loving forgiveness cannot bring rapture. What will bring rapture is the spirit of the lion, and it does not come from conversion. It is a calling of predestination. It's something you have to be born with. Don't trifle with something you are born with. The Lord told me today, he said, destiny ends in born with. No, that's where it ends. He was born Christ. 2:11 of the book of Luke. It ended there. If you want to do anything to that Jesus, you should find out the Christ he was born. Now sometimes we don't care about this born with. We are so much overwhelmed with the change we want to achieve, and we have never succeeded. In the ancient intelligence, those who lead successfully and those that lead without pen, those that lead without pen, like in the days of Jesus and Judas, Jesus knew from intelligence that Judas don't need to be bothered about conversion. That is a traitor. He will say, I'm not trying to ask you to change. Whatever you want to do, do it quickly. He didn't preach change to him. He don't preach change to a betrayer. Just like Jesus was predestined to accomplish the mechanism of suffering servant, Judas was predestined to take 30 pieces of silver to sell a master. All who are great leaders find this. They lead smoothly with this. They can separate Peter from Andrew, even though Andrew came first, because they have eyes to see spirit in people. When you have eyes to see spirit in people, you will have peace. You see, because people will not fail you. The idea that they failed me is because you don't know the way they are. So if you know the way they are, you will not expect something they don't have from them. And that's what you say, fail you. You say they fail you because you don't care about the way they are. The reason a lot of men are having problem with their wife is because a young man who have not studied women should not get married. There are three emotions, and you have to study the emotions. There is a he emotion. There is a she emotion of a woman. The she emotion of a woman different from the he emotion of a man. So if you're a man and want to marry a woman, you should know she emotion, which keep the girl alive, and they try not to tamper it, because if you tamper the she emotion, you're tampering with her life. Now you don't tell the she you don't plunge the she into a he emotions. And then there is also an omnipotent emotion that make gods. The way I am now, you see, I don't like the she emotion. I also don't like the he emotion of men. I like the divine emotion of the omnipotence emotions of divinity. I say I like the omnipotence emotions of the divine, because that's the only thing, that's what I have. Now, you don't know the difference. You have to pass the divine. You have to pass, if you are of divine emotion, you have to go through the he emotion of men. And then first you start meddling with the she emotion. If an omnipotence is finding it difficult to cope with the he emotion of men, which is superior to the fickle she emotion of women, how do you fellowship with that? You can't convert emotions. Did you put your hand together for what I just said? I said you don't do what? You don't convert emotions. You don't tell a woman to start thinking like a man. Don't do that. You can't tell her to start thinking like a man. She can't think like a man. And then you cannot take a man to start thinking. You can't tell a man to start thinking like God. This is a man that have children. He has to be run up and down to look for money he will use in feeding them. He cannot think like a divine person. I'll get billion around to start going to run up and down. Now you see, because it's not a divine, it's just a man. And he's happy. When he comes, he's just a man. He will try to check his children, whether they did very well in secondary school, whether they have eaten, and then trying to look at his wife, trying to say, okay, let us go and do shopping. Now, you don't make that man a god. He's just a man. just an ordinary man. So emotion means he cares about what he cares. I say he cares about what he cares about, which is different from what God cares about. So there are disciples, there are mathematics, there are students. If you want to know how far you go, you will know the spirit that is your mentor, the one that teaches you what you know. That's also the one that gives you destiny. Jesus said, if you are my student, take up the yoke and follow me. So if you take up the yoke and follow the lamb, you can't take up another yoke and follow lion. The cloud of Apostle Paul in the air is a revelation of the lion. You see, but you can interpret it the way you want if the revelation is not meant for you to interpret. The problem that pastors are having is that they try to interpret the revelation that is not in their spirit. The revelation is a light of a spirit. Let me say it again. I say revelation is a light of a spirit. Just like there is a language of, Can I ask you to listen? Can you look up? If I close my eyes, and they say, somebody send me a test, and then somebody said, Shepherd, this is a set test they sent to you. 7 people in local army send you this test. And then as I read each test, from word of the test, I will know the person who sent it. For 7, without mentioning name. When I hear word of inspiration, I will know the spirit that sent it. Because spirits expresses themselves through their word. And every spirit has this word and language of expression of the word. Language. So Jesus said, my word is my spirit. Church, that is great. Huh? So the word of the lamb represents the spirit of the lamb. And then the word of the lion represents the spirit of the lion. So the lion does not talk like the lamb. And then the lamb does not talk like the lion. Because of language of expression. Word. Let me ask you a question. If you are from a root that know royalty, royalty has a language and a lifestyle and a conduct pattern, character. It doesn't start from behavior. It starts from ideology, a courage, a spiritual weight, a nature. An expression of certain value that is royal. If I were you, I would go for it. I will go for where it is, not where I want to keep it. Since you were born, did your father tell you royal things? Not tell you. Did he live it? Did he say we can't tolerate it? He didn't teach you that, he lived it. He lived it and you saw it. And then the blood is in you. And then he lived to tell you that we can't be ordinary. Because he didn't behave ordinary. And then in 4:1 and 2, he brought teachers to say, express to the children the way we are. Don't teach them new things. Teach them that we are lions. Take from me and impart from them. Nothing else. So daddy, is he always trying to flog? No. He's always trying to show it. It is there in the character and in the blood. Excuse me. If the discipler fails, the blood will not lie. Let me say it again. I say if the discipler fails, the blood will not lie. That's why I said here, immortality is unveiled from lion's light. Immortality. Please. There are days like today when I am richly blessed. Some of the things I'm sharing, and it is going to make me take a little longer time than what I used to do. That because I'm already quiet. I'm already very quiet. I'm blessed with quietness today. So I may take a little longer time, maybe extra 30 minutes before I end. So there is something I want to show you on immortality is unveiled from the lion's light. Immortality is unveiled. I would like you to know that the light is the most valuable asset. Asset is A-S-S-E-T. Asset. Light is the most valuable asset that God has. Now, it is not every light that has the destiny that we want. That is why we should be careful with reading and listening to messages. Words are spirits, and spirits has destiny. Now, don't take in spirits you don't need, because the spirit will give you destiny that you don't want. Let me say it again. I said, don't take in the light of spirits you don't need. If you look at 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 10, I'm not making it religious. I'm not making it religious. The lamp has its light. The light of the lamp has already ordained eternal life. You see, but the light of the lion brought immortality, which is different from the light of the lamp. Now, can you look up? Now, there is an ideology. There is an ideology called grace and truth, which is the thought pattern that represent the brightness of the lamp. So in 21-23 of Revelation,